I'm Zach Kruger, and I'll be talking about creating interactive lesson activities on your Smartboard. This is part of many different options in the Smart Notebook software which you can use, but I'm going to be showing you 3 today that are easy ones to incorporate into your lessons quickly that allow that interactivity. Creating a hide and reveal activity. There are 3 different ways to create a hide and reveal activity. They are the move and reveal, order and reveal, and erase and reveal. And I'm going to be showing you each of these techniques today. I'm going to show you an example of each, and then I'm also going to be showing you some ways that, or talking about some ways I've used them in my classroom, and then I'll also be showing you some ways that you could use them as well, some different examples that might get your brains going on how you might be able to use them in your own discipline area. So here are the 3 different ones. Example, move, order, and erase. So where's TUTS 2? So our 3 answers, the same answers under each of those 3 blanks, and what we have is they're covered up. So creating that interactive time with the whiteboard. So as I come on over to the Smart Notebook software and I select this object, and I can drag and move, so that is the move part, and I can reveal that answer. So move and reveal. So if I cover it up again, my object, my shape, I can drag and reveal that answer underneath of it. The second option is order and reveal, and it is just like it sounds. We're going to reorder that object to the back so we can see the answer. So if I select the object and click on the drop-down menu, and come where it says order, and if I click on order, I can send it to back, and it allows me to see the answer that is behind it. And then to cover it back up again, I select it. So I select it, click the drop-down menu, come down to order, click on order, and then click on bring to front. My last one I feel is one of the quickest but easiest ways to create interactivity in your lessons is using the erase function. So if I come and select my eraser from the toolbar menu, and I'm going to select the big one so I can just drag and slide across. So if I slide and erase the ink that is covering up that answer, the answer is Valley of the Kings underneath of it. Now, you're like, how did you get that ink there? Well, I'll show you that later, but I'll also show you quickly how you can easily help that pen be remembered on your toolbar so you can use it multiple times. So if you select the pen on the toolbar menu, and you come over to the contextual toolbar side, this one up in the upper left-hand corner is going to be the one that's always going to be your default pen. Now I want to train the one right below it to be that white thick pen so I can use this often in my lessons. If I select it and I click on the Properties tab, which is the A next to the color palette here, if I select that, I can change and train that pen to be a white thick pen. So if I want it to be nice and thick, I would select the thickness here. And then the color, I can change it to yellow if I want a different color, but I want this one to be white. So if I select white, now what I need to do is save my tool properties, and now that pen will be available to me all the time. So if I click over here to text, and I click back on the pen toolbar, I still will have that pen available. It's trained in there. So now I can come and drag my finger across that answer and create that erase and reveal activity quickly and easily. One thing to remember is you can, speaking of training pens, I can change a pen if I click on the contextual toolbar side and change the line color. And also I can change the thickness and different line styles, but this will not train it. It will only have it open while I'm using that pen, and then it will reset back to this yellow. So when you train it, remember you click on the pen you want to train, click on the Properties tab, select the color, thickness, what type of line style you would like, and then click on Save Tool Properties, and that will help you so it's set. Now, in my own classroom, why would you want to hide information before talking about it? Well, in my own classroom, how I've done it in the past is possibly with like a math problem. I like to put boxes over different parts of a math problem, so students are having to have discussion and think about that answer first, and then they're able to come on up, either I can do it or they can do it and move and reveal that. That's worked well in a whole group or even in a small group. I've also had where maybe I have a question up there where they need to think about it, or something that with possibly with math again, we'll go with that, and maybe a question up there, and they have the little answer in the bottom corner, and they can move and reveal that answer, and then for that next small group, they'll move it back so the answer isn't revealed to everybody. So those are a couple options that I've used, and why? The big question, why? Why would I use this? Because a lot of things with smart technologies is that, how is this going to enhance my instruction? Well, this one in particular is making students think, to cover up those important parts of a lesson and not having those all revealed, because some students, that can be really distracting to have all the information there. Some might start to read ahead, some might not understand what might be the important parts. So using the hide and reveal, the move and reveal, or the erase and reveal, being able to reveal those items and causing students to understand these are important parts of my lesson that I really want them to focus on. And it creates that where I can have them create a discussion in their desks before revealing that answer, and allows me to do that easily and quickly within my lessons. So I'm going to show you a couple examples of how to create these different types, and I'll show you two different disciplines. I'll use one talking about social studies, and then I'll talk about one again in math, and I'll show you an example of each of them. So first of all, I would like to put a map on my workspace. So what I'm going to do is come over to the Gallery tab, which is the picture frame, and I'll select it, and then up in my search bar, I will type in US map. And it will give me some folders, pictures, and notebook files and pages. What I would like is the notebook files and pages. I would like one that I can, is blank, and it has the all of the different states outlined. So there's two different ways I can get that out of my page. I can either select the drop-down menu and insert it into Notebook, or I can drag and just drop it into my workspace. So reviewing those two again, I can click on my drop-down menu and insert into Notebook, or I can drag and drop it into my workspace. Now, what I want to do is select a picture. Now, let's see if I can find one. Let's see here. How about Washington, for example? If I select it again, remember the two different ways. Select and drag and drop it onto your workspace, or you can select the drop-down menu and insert into Notebook. And now it's been inserted into my notebook. So, always remember that I need to select my select tool, or else that will happen where it creates that white pen. So as I come and I can erase that, select my select tool, now I can click and maneuver this object around. Now, what I want to do is create an interactive piece with this map. So what I will do is, I will write Olympia up there, and I'm going to actually select it and resize it a little bit. Make it a little bit smaller. So notice how I did that. I clicked up on my select tool, and I clicked or selected the text, and then I used the resize button to resize it and make it a little bit smaller. Now I can drag and drop it right over top of my state. Now I like to lock it in place, so if a student's up here, they aren't going to maneuver it around as they're moving the state. So I can click order, actually I would click locking, and click lock in place. So now I have the ability to move my state over top of Washington. Now, obviously you see that it is behind Olympia. Well, we want it to be ordered in front so students won't be able to see what the capital of Washington is. So I would select the state, click on my drop-down menu, click order, and I would click bring to front. So I'll do that again. Click on my select tool, click on my state, and then click the drop-down menu, order, and it would be bring to front. Now, if I were wanting to reveal it, there's two different ways. This is kind of neat. I could do the order side of it, and I could send it to back, and I could reveal my state. So I would select the select tool, click on the drop-down menu, and order, and bring to front to reset it. Or, this is kind of neat too, I can select my select tool, and I can move and reveal as well. So I did both of those there, order and reveal and move and reveal. And it really gets kids talking, turn and talk with a partner to be able to say, oh, what was this capital of Washington, or even put maybe some resources behind there and talk about what are some major resources in Washington, and then you could move and reveal those answers, and the students then would have their discussion and thinking time, and then you could move and reveal that in that activity, and they have that visual of where that state would be on the map and being able to move that out of the way. Now, show you a second example with math in mind. So if I were to use a math problem, I would say I'm doing 95 plus 11. So 5 plus 1, 6. What I like to do is write a problem up on the board ahead of time, maybe before class starts. And what I would do then is I like to marquee select all of the text. And I want to just leave it as it was written. And I want to lock it in place so it can't move. So now my problem's locked into place. So before class, I might come in. So as students are coming in, they have something to work on and think about. So what I will do is use that, notice that pen. So if I click on my pen toolbar and the white pen is still available, so if I select it, I can now erase, or I can color over top of one of the numbers. And now students need to figure out, well, what in the world should go in that space to create the correct problem that would equal or allow this to be the correct sum. So to reveal that answer, I would come to my eraser, and I can erase and reveal the 1 in that place. So we did order and reveal, where I can select it, drop down menu, click on order, send to back. I reset that. So that was order and reveal, and I can bring it back to the front. Move and reveal, if I select my select tool, and I can move that state to reveal the capital. Or on the next page, I did the erase and reveal. So click the pen toolbar, click my white pen that I had memorized or trained, and then I can color over top of that. I select my eraser, and then when I'm ready, after we've discussed it as a class, I can reveal that answer by erasing it. So again, this creates interactivity for your lessons and quick, easy ways for you to highlight some of the important information in a lesson. I showed you a couple disciplines. Some other ways that I can think of are possibly with maybe a high school class where they need to have the periodic table and they need to highlight some of those important ones where students might need to have a discussion of, well, we've been learning about these, what might be the ones that are underneath? And once that discussion and thinking has happened, then they can reveal those. Some other options might be even in a history class, talking about where different battles took place. So taking and using that map and taking examples where different battles took place, revealing them after they've talked about it on that map. So maybe having the answer revealed and then talking about that and then revealing the answer. So a couple even upper level examples where you could use this to create interactivity in your lessons.